And now we will start the music. Hopefully the right one this time.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Yes, here we are again. It's Wednesday night.
Another Wednesday.
So you know what that means. That means something better is probably on TV somewhere.
Probably.
But you're tuned in and you're watching us. So
yeah, we're right here.
Thank you. And let's get started with the show. We are Gamers Digest. We are a fan podcast. We talk about video game news, rumors, pretty much anything video game related. Sometimes
reviews.
Yeah, we have some reviews again this week. E3 has kind of died down, so we're getting back in the...
All the news is pretty much settled. The dust is settling, so
right.
Lines are being drawn. Companies are being sold.
So after all of the news for E3, what are you most looking forward to? Game, peripheral, anything?
Game-wise, I would have to say, if any game I'm looking forward to, it would be probably Tomb Raider. And that's not coming out until, next year? Because Tomb Raider, that was one of the first really big AAA titles that I ever got, coming into this, console war, So I think I got it. I remember getting it for my 12th birthday or something like that. 12th or 13th birthday, I forget. But, yeah, that was one of my first big purchases of a,
Which
a major
Tomb Raider
game.
was that?
The first one.
The very first one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So back on PlayStation?
Yep, back on the PS, when it was called the PSX.
Oh.
Not the PS1.
Why did they call it the PSX?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea, but it's called
PSO was taken by Phantasy Star Online?
It was before PSO.
Right. Well, they didn't call it one at that time.
Yeah.
They just called it PlayStation.
Yeah, it's called
Which
PlayStation.
doesn't have an X anywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, they always abbreviated it, the PSX. That was weird. That's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe it was because it had an X button. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. That'll be trivia to look up. So.
Yeah.
So Tomb Raider. Did you hear? Have you heard any of the controversy about that yet?
The new one?
Yeah. The game director did an interview with Kotaku.
Yeah.
It said that a big turning point for Lara Croft is there's an attempted rape.
Okay.
Basically, she gets backed in a corner, and it's the first time in her life where
she has to kill somebody.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But then, 2 days later, whoever is making the game said, "Well, it's not really a rape scene. It's more of a psychological struggle." So they kind of backed off on that. So I'm kind of interested to see what actually happens.
Yeah, I remember seeing the little trailer.
Right, that's what it all
fueled
from.
Yeah, the guy was rubbing up on her and stuff, and it seemed really, I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
It seemed awkward.
Right, awkward. Yeah, I'm not a huge Tomb Raider fan, but I'm looking forward to the new one because they're bringing that survival aspect.
Yeah, it's survival and it's grittier, more realistic. The other one was too.
Right.
Yeah, there was an arcade-ish kind of feel to it. I liked. I never got to play the new remake, the Tomb Raider Anniversary. I always wanted to. I think there's a collection. Yeah, I think there's a collection for PlayStation. I should pick it up. But I did like what was it? They did Tomb Raider Legend.
Right.
Yeah, I remember getting that. That was one of my first 360 games. And then there was Tomb Raider Underworld. And that one was, it was very true to the original Tomb Raider series. And I liked it. It was cool.
Now Guardian of Light was the offshoot. That wasn't
it's like the
it was isometric, Diablo style almost.
Yeah. Because I played the demo for that, and it was neat. I thought, I would pick it up, if they lowered the price maybe.
I get that for free. I took the plunge and actually got PlayStation Plus because we talked about all those free games.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually one of the free games.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to have to download that and try that. For $14 a month, it's pretty well worth it. It's my first month, so I'm kind of spoiled.
So is GameFly.
Right.
Yeah.
For now, while you can play them.
True.
Well, what did you play this week?
I only played XCOM. You know, I only played some X. I mean, I have it on my my netbook. I can just fire it up really quick, and I mean, it's something. It's something that I can play easily while I'm at work. You know, when in between calls. You know, and I'm just
working hard.
Hey, sometimes there's some downtime.
There is
between calls,
downtime.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I wrote the show notes partially at work. So.
yeah. So I mean, you know, just fire it up, and I can, you know, drop in and play at any time. You know, I have a bunch of save files. You know, I can just jump in any point of the game. Like if I want to do a certain aspect of the game, it's very fun. I mean, it's really withstood the test of time.
That's pretty cool.
And I'll be doing my review on that.
Oh, retro review.
A retro review.
Are you gonna list the minimum PC specs for it?
I could probably look them up.
Yeah, minimum PC specs, 64 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
yeah, I looked up the minimum specs for Diablo 2 the other day. It was like 64 megabytes of RAM, like 1 gigabyte of hard drive space.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
GeForce 2.
I remember that.
Yep, that was my first graphics card.
I remember that.
So that's it, huh? Just XCOM?
Yeah, I mean, I went to the movies. I saw Snow White and Prometheus. That was cool. That was about it.
Yeah.
No other games. I watched you play a couple games, or
Yeah.
just one game.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was good enough.
Yeah, that was good enough. I mean, I just come in.
Yeah, I bought Lollipop Chainsaw, which is game of the year. I'm saying it right now. But that's going to be my review. I also did play Ghost Recon, so I kept my promise. But after playing Lollipop Chainsaw yesterday, I had to do my review on it because it's just crazy. I also dug into the World of Warcraft beta for the new expansion pretty hardcore this week. I got to the new max level, which is 90. You tried out a lot of stuff on there. It's still a beta, so you know they're still working a lot of stuff out. But
didn't they also open up that store, or the?
Yeah, they also opened up the real money auction house for Diablo 3. I made $40 so far, so that's pretty cool. But I've spent 10, so I've made $30. But still, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That basically pays my World of Warcraft subscription for 2 months.
That is cool.
So, you know. And what's even funnier is I actually have the annual pass for World of Warcraft, which basically is like a contract that says I'll pay to play World of Warcraft for a year. You don't pay up front. Basically it's an agreement that says, well, yeah, I'll subscribe for a year. So you're basically locking in those 12 payments, so you can't unsubscribe. But when you did that, not only did you get access to the beta, you also got Diablo 3 for free. They just gave you the free digital copy.
That's cool.
So with the free digital copy of Diablo 3, I paid for 2 months out of the 12 months of
World of
Warcraft that I agreed to pay. So my ultimate goal is to make enough on the real money auction house to pay for that year's subscription. And I didn't start out to do this, but it kind of popped in my head.
Yeah, let it pay for itself. Yeah.
Right. So
I wonder how many other people are going to try to do that.
I did see a couple of sales for $250 actually sell. And I saw varying in 100. If you do the math, 12 months at $15 a month, it's like 146. So they doubled their year's subscription already, easily. Unfortunately, I wasn't far enough in the game to have anything that good. Those were like best.
Someday.
Best. Well, I checked the market this morning before I dismantled my computer because I had computer problems.
But they are fixed.
They're getting there. It's loading Windows now. But before I went to work this morning, I did check the market prices, and they're already dropping. So that first day, you know, rush where everybody's like, oh man, this is amazing, this is amazing. Those people with a whole lot of money definitely made out, and I'm sure there's going to be like all kinds of studies and stuff that go on for this, because it's the first time anybody's ever done this in a game where it's user-generated auction house. Like some games have cash shops where companies put gear and stuff on there. It's
like the
MMOs,
packs.
like the Mass Effect packs. But this is the first real user-generated auction house on this level of a scale. There may have been small ones for games I don't know about, but I'm sure there's going to be some kind of economic study on this. Like how much money Blizzard's making versus how much is being put in.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the quick math is, if you ever sell an item on the real money auction house, they get $1 straight out. So the best way I break this down is, say you sell something for $10, Blizzard takes $1 of that, so now you have $9. If you put it into Blizzard's prime, like proprietary account, like PlayStation Network money, stuff like that, they call it Blizzard balance. You get the full amount that's after the $1, so you would get the full $9. You can also cash that out to PayPal, but if you cash it out to PayPal, there's another 15% that Blizzard takes. So, but it's of that $9, so it doesn't include the total price. It's just, I know this is a lot of math.
Yeah.
But basically, if you cash it out on a $10 sale, you end up with like $7-some. So Blizzard's, made some money.
Yeah, they're making some money. It's going to add up.
Yeah, it's going to add up because, we don't have the current numbers of, how many people are actively playing, but they sold 7 million in a week. Those 7 million people, because there's not a subscriber cost, and I think I'm going to sneeze, so excuse me if I do, can still play. So.
Zoom tight.
Finally came. Thank you. But yeah, those 7 million people can still play. So those are 7 million possible real money auction house people. There are a couple of security things that you have to go through to use it. Like you have to have a Blizzard authenticator. So their
Social security number.
Yeah, not that bad. PayPal account has to be verified. That's a big one. If you do want to cash it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's going to be interesting. I've made $30 on it. Made 40, but spent 10. Because maybe I'll make more money now that I have better gear.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump into news
and rumors.
Yeah. Let's.
News and rumors.
Close enough. All right. So we'll pass it over to you.
Jump into our first story. Vivendi. For some reason, I want to call it Vivendi Universal. Did that used to be their name?
It might be.
Yeah. Vivendi is thinking about selling Activision, which is pretty surprising. They it's after E3, and they're actually thinking about selling their biggest. They're actually thinking about selling their biggest publisher, game publisher.
Right. They're the biggest company.
Now they're going to have some type of conference on June 22nd, and this is something that's possibly on the table. Cash out now while they're big because.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Like, when did they buy Activision?
They bought Activision in 2007 for $4 billion.
$4 billion.
And right now it's worth $13 billion.
Wow.
So.
I can see where they'd want to sell. Now, Vivendi, if I remember right, is the Blizzard side.
Okay.
Activision is obviously the Call of Duty,
Skylanders
side.
Yeah.
Which we don't talk about Skylanders too much, but it is like a major force in the video gaming realm. It makes Bobby Kotick, which is the head of Activision Blizzard, Vivendi's merging company, like tons of money. Like they make so much money off of Skylanders. Like if you ever go into Target and wonder why there's so much Skylander stuff, it's because people buy it. Like that is like the hot toy for every kid now.
That's the thing where you buy a toy and
you can like set it on there and then play a game with that toy. Like it's like an MMO. Yeah, that is like their that in World of Warcraft are their cash cows.
Yeah.
And, maybe
there was a long time ago. This is like dating myself, but we're not that old. There was a time when what was that game? Legend of Legaia. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was like, this is such a cool RPG. It'd be cool, and my idea was that it'd be cool if there was action figures of different characters, and you could buy them, and there would be like a trading card with them. This is during the time when like Pokemon was also cool, and there would be a trading card or something, and there would be a code on there, and you can input that code, and then you can play as that action figure that you bought in the game.
That's Skylanders basically. They took it a step further that you actually buy action figures, and then there's a device that I guess you can sit it on. I don't know that much about it.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, if I was them, I took a look when we posted this story. I took a look at the stock prices, and they are like, so they are coming down. Like they actually, like the current stock as of Monday. I didn't check the last 2 days. I probably should have. But as of Monday, their current stock was at $11.62, which is about $13 billion total, and that's basically where we got the number.
Mm-hmm.
But at $16, they were worth, I think, close to $20 billion. So they're losing money. Obviously, they still made money.
Yeah. But do you think E3 has anything to do with this?
That's the funny thing. They actually posted this leak before E3. They posted the rumor that they might sell them the day before E3. I don't think E3 had anything to do with the actual sale, but I don't think it helped because they didn't have a real strong showing at E3. A lot of people was like, okay, Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. What else do you guys have? And they were like, Skylanders, Call of Duty for Vita. But you can't see it. Here's the logo.
Yeah.
So I can see how Vivendi has always been kind of like one step ahead of the gaming curve. Like obviously they picked up Activision in, what was it, 2000 something?
2007.
2007. So that was probably, I would jump out and say that's probably right during the Call of Duty boom. That's probably when Call of Duty 4, or maybe even Modern Warfare 2 was about to come out. Probably 4, probably right before 4 came out. So they're always kind of ahead of the curve.
So I wonder who they're going to be gunning for next.
Yeah, they may, if they sell Activision, they've still got Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've still got their,
yeah.
And Vivendi actually used to make games themselves. Like they used to be a publisher as well. So obviously you don't really see that now because everything has the Activision sticker on it. So they may go back. That might be something I'll have to look into. So it's interesting. What do you think they should sell them?
Sure, why not? I mean,
you're not real attached to either one of them.
Nah,
the
not
Activision
really.
side or the Blizzard side.
No, like Activision does the Spider-Man games, right?
I think so. I don't know. No. Well, they might publish it.
Oh.
They don't develop it.
Okay.
The developers are BNX.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me too much.
In the end, it doesn't really affect us.
It doesn't affect us too much, but it is an interesting piece of news. Because I remember when they purchased Activision, and there was a talk about the name Activision Blizzard, and I was like, oh, I mean now it's like common, but
right.
Yeah.
And most people still refer to them as like most console gamers, I think, still refer to them just as Activision.
Yeah.
Whereas most PC gamers actually say Activision Blizzard. And it's interesting on the PC side that anything bad that happens, like World of Warcraft, anything bad that is ever decided in World of Warcraft, like the opening of the pet store where you can buy in-game pets or mounts for real money, they blame on Activision. But any of the good stuff, they say, oh, well, that's Blizzard. Which, it's kind of funny how they, Activision is this big evil conglomerate, and Blizzard's like, oh, we're this small studio, when really they're the same studio, and you got to take the good with the bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think PC gamers will care a little more than console gamers. But in the end, I don't think it'll affect
they're a lot
either.
more civilized, I think.
I don't know about that.
You sure?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Halo?
I've played Halo against 12-year-olds that have a vocabulary that I don't even know is possible.
Yeah.
They're inventing new curse words. I'm convinced. So the next one, it actually came at the end of E3, but I wanted to post it, and we actually have a trailer, so we're going to try something new out. So experimental, so bear with me. But this is actually going to be for the new Unreal 4 engine. A lot of games currently run on the Unreal 3 engine. a notable few was Gears of War was like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then Unreal Tournament 2000 something was the next one, and then every game known to man ever.
Pretty much.
Yeah. The latest Lollipop Chainsaw runs on the Unreal 3 engine.
And it looks good, too.
Yes, it does. We'll give them that.
Looks bouncy.
But here's the, hopefully, here's the Unreal 4 engine. This is the tech demo, so we'll play it. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing. It's kind of long, but we'll switch over and we'll give it a shot. Since there's not much talking,
get some commentary.
I don't know. Oh, there's wind, light, but it's a little bit.
A little lens flare. Looks amazing.
Yes, it does. But what I wanted to mention was all of these companies, trailer.com, from there.
Yeah.
This, keep an eye. This is possible.
Yeah, can you imagine all the quantum computing in one of this?
All right.
That looks cool.
It did look pretty cool. So, Stu, hear the wind?
I thought it was
Hear-
raining.
Hear the guy outside?
There's that monster dude.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat. I mean, I'm excited to see what they can do with that, especially like in game.
Any idea what the first game will be that uses that engine?
You and I talked about it a little before Gears of War 5. Not 4, because 4 is already in development, but I'm going to say Gears of War 5.
Okay.
Because think about it, that's Epic's big property, and they're the purveyors behind the engine.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
definitely going to push out to one of their games first.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of sense.
So, all right, we'll jump into the next one, and we're actually going to play another trailer. It's funny, we actually dropped frames when you came back to us, but not during the trailer.
It was just waiting for us.
So, hop over here, and
Play the trailer.
or what's the trailer?
Oh,
for?
the trailer. The trailer is for Skyrim's first DLC. It's called Dawn Guard, and yeah, it's coming out this June 26th, I believe.
Yeah, kind of hot in the middle of it.
Yeah,
You kind of get the idea.
it looks awesome. But basically, you play. I mean, it's like all of Skyrim or Bethesda's. I'm memorizing this trailer. It's hard to give my commentary.
I love how the dragon jumps underwater.
Yeah.
That is cool.
That reminds me of Monster Hunter for PlayStation.
I love
It
the
is
shot
too.
right at the end. Oh,
Nice. Dawn Guard.
yeah. So we only did a little bit of that trailer.
Yeah.
We'll probably stick with that since this computer doesn't seem to really like the trailers. So yeah, dropped a lot of frames for that one.
All right. So basically, this DLC comes out for the Xbox 360 first on June 26th, and it's gonna come out on the PS3 and the PC later the following month, so later in July. And to give you a little rundown, just like all of Bethesda's DLCs, you play as your character, and you can either the story branches. So you play as your character. You can either join the vampires and become like a vampire lord, or you can join the Dawn Guard, which are the sworn vampire hunters. So it's it's pretty interesting. There's new perk trees for vampires and werewolves. You have the ability to either choose, like if your character already is a werewolf, you can, trade off without any type of penalty and switch back. Because like my character was a werewolf, and
yeah, so was mine.
Yeah, I'm a fan of werewolves, Incredible Hulk type characters. So
plus there was no downside really.
Yeah, there's no downside.
Other than people would occasionally be like, "You look a little furry today."
Yeah, is that hair in your ears?
Yeah.
I really liked it. I would pick up Dawn Guard, download it.
We talked about like a Game of the Year edition.
like a Game of the Year edition that'll have all the DLCs that come out.
Right.
So we probably won't see that Game of the Year edition for a little while. Yeah.
They may only do one DLC. I mean, think about it. Oblivion really only had one.
Yeah, one. Well,
they had like an expansion pack.
Yeah,
they had.
I think Oblivion had at least. It might have had 3. I know there was the big one, Shivering Isles.
Right.
Yeah, that one was huge. I mean.
Yeah, because that was more like an expansion pack.
Yeah, they need to do something like that.
Yeah, maybe they will. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Or just another Fallout.
So the important question is are you Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I'm still Team Jacob, but I like it left me the quest line, what were they called?
The companions.
The
Fighters Guild.
The Fighters Guild quest line kind of it just wasn't as fulfilling. So
Do you do any of the other guilds like the Assassin's Guild, like the Dark Brotherhood?
Yeah, I did.
That one was good.
Yeah, those are cool. A little dark. But yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
There was a lot of running with the Assassin's Guild and the Thieves Guild because the Thieves Guild was like, you can't kill anybody, but you should steal from them. But I still killed them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just easier.
Yeah, I want to play Skyrim again.
I do too.
Like, did they ever fix that glitch?
I think so. I think they finally fixed the frame rate issue for PlayStation 3. If not, I might give it a shot on PC because there's all kinds of like mods and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
my brother loves the mods.
I think it was GameSpy, which oddly enough I didn't link any GameSpy shows this week. It was all IGN this week. GameSpy either reported the same stuff or reported stupid stuff. But GameSpy has like a mod spotlight, and you can actually create some of the effects of this DLC with mods currently. You can't get any like the art assets or anything, and obviously you can't really get the quests, but you can get like the skill trees and stuff. I don't think it's going to be the same, but the similar. Like you can become a vampire lord, and so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
All right, so we'll jump to the next one, which is actually it started out as one story and kind of snowballed into 2.
Yeah, it did.
But they both kind of have to do with each other. It's about the Wii U. A retailer actually overseas kind of hinted at what the possible price would be, which is about $435 U.S. Euros or something like 600. I don't know the conversion rate. But that's a little pricey. I mean, it's an HD system, so I can kind of understand. But with Xboxes, you can get it an Xbox for $99 now, or you can get a good Xbox for $199 without the Kinect and all that crap. And you can get a PlayStation for what, like same thing, $199 or something new, and even less if you go refurbished. $435. If there's a whole bunch of new consoles coming out, I can kind of understand the higher price points, but it's going to be hard to sell that Wii U when you're looking at PlayStation or anything like that.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to sell them when you're trying to come out first.
Now, I think they'll sell just fine. Yeah, that being said.
Well, you want to know the real reason why it's that expensive?
What?
The controller.
The controllers.
Controllers.
I'm sure it'll only come with one.
Yeah, because you got to buy the others.
See, well, yeah, you're like buying like a TV with that thing, like a tablet.
Like, okay, it says $435, but you got to realize that if you want to have a nice family experience, you also got to buy the $70 games. So you're already over $500. And you need another controller, so that's $600.
Right. And this kind of segues into our second story. If you want to play with any of your friends, you need to get a friend code. Kind of. All right. I initially read this story and had that knee-jerk reaction, like, oh God, friend code, friend code, friend code. And this is why I wanted to put it in there, because I kind of wanted to see how much you actually read of it.
No, none.
Yeah, okay, good, because you're like, oh my God, friend codes were terrible. Basically, anybody who doesn't know how Nintendo does their story, their
Online.
yeah, like Xbox has gamer tag, PlayStation has your PlayStation Network ID, which is a gamer tag. Nintendo has a 32-digit number that you have to remember for the Wii. Now DS actually fixed it a little bit, and it got a little better. But yeah, you had like a 32-digit number, so you're like, oh, you want to play Smash Brothers Brawl or whatever? What was it, Brawl on Wii? Yeah, Brawl. It's like, okay, here's my number: 32X7937363932. Right.
It's like one of those WPA codes for
Right.
the internet. Yeah.
Exactly. It is like a web key. Exactly. It is bad. So I read that and I was like, man, that's stupid. Nintendo is already shooting itself in the foot. They're going to charge more and they're going to make online gaming hard. So I went back, reread it. It's actually not going to be that bad.
Okay. Yeah, you remember saying simplified?
Right. It is simplified in the fact that they have their new. We talked about it a little last week. Their new, like social gaming thing is the Miiverse.
Okay.
For the Miiverse, you can go through there and say you and I go to the Miiverse, say okay, we're there, and obviously there's a lot of stuff we don't know about this yet, but I can see Mr. Fantastic. I can just say add to friend, and it adds you.
Okay.
Behind that, there is a friend code. So if you still want to give out that friend code, you can. But they've kind of added that layer on top of it, and it might actually be better than gamer tags because of the fact that you can be Mr. Factastic, and you can be Facsack, and you can be whatever. Like I can be Spider, I can be Curtis, I can be Joe, I can be Mark, whoever, but I have that same tag.
So I can like make multiple names and be a pedophile to little kids. And
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So Herbert approves. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I wanted to add that in there just because of that knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. I was like, oh gosh.
So you got our next story. What's going on over at the land of Sony?
In the land of the rising sun.
Yeah.
Basically, Sony is cutting their executive pay because they lost about $10.7 billion in the last 4 years.
I can't see me.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Sony's they've been losing some money, so they're cutting the executive pay. And some of the executives have already turned in their bonuses and stuff that they got for last year. So I mean, like they know that there's like a problem that they need to attend to, and they're already being generous about it.
Yeah, so that's pretty nice. I think this is the opposite of the 38 studios that we had.
Yeah.
This, I think, it still sucks. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is the way to go about it. They're not cutting, programmers. They're not cutting, developer pay. They're not cutting any of that kind of stuff. They're cutting executive pay. They saw it coming. Obviously, 10.7 billion is over 4 years. I hope somebody saw that coming. So I think this is the better way to handle financial loss because the market's recovering, but it's still nowhere near what it is.
It's nowhere near what it is. So I mean, they need to be smart about this next iteration for the console generation because that's really what's going to make or break them. Because I mean, they had a slow start when the PS3 came out. Right. They had a slow start when the PS2 came out. So I mean,
I think all of the I think every new console generation, there's always problems in the beginning because they always market the crap out of them like so high, like $5.99 for a new game system. No, I think I'll play PlayStation 2 for a little longer. Yeah. Just what we talked about with the Wii. Like, I hardly ever play the Wii now.
Yeah, it's like the world's greatest dust collector.
Right. So you think I'm going to pay $435 for the next Nintendo console? You're crazy, especially if they follow through with the crappy game lineup.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I will definitely wait on that.
So, is Sony making any other changes other than cut and pay?
Let's see. They haven't decided what they're going to do with the new allocated funds. So, I mean, they do believe that they're going to be turning a profit soon. So
That's good.
So
Sony, keep in mind, because we're a video game podcast, I'm sure you're thinking video games. Sony's a big company.
Yeah,
they lost $10.7 billion over TVs, stereo, video games.
Yeah.
They may even make cars. I don't know.
Movies,
yeah, whatever. So yeah, they do make movies.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 3. That's why you lost $10.7 billion. Fix it. Oh wait, they are in like 2 weeks. Anyway, all right. Well, I think we are on the we're on the last show. So we talk about Mass Effect 3 a lot because it's one of our, more.
We have not played it though.
Favoriteest games ever. I bought the Legion toy though. That was cool.
Mm-hmm. He should have cameoed. He'll cameo next week.
Yeah, he'll be our third seat. He'll be filling in.
Right.
I'll queue up the get clicks. But they finally are. They haven't published any details, but some details of the fixed ending are starting to leak. Basically, the actual quote was, if I can center it, additional scenes and an extended epilogue reveal the impact of Shepard's choices on the future of the galaxy. So this could potentially clear up a lot of the fans' problems. Because a lot of people had problems with the ending, not so much in what was in the ending, but what wasn't in the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they published, 3 games that they pushed as, your choices matter, your choices matter, your choices matter. And of all those choices, I'd say probably 30% of them were wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, spoiler warnings, for anybody who hasn't played Mass Effect 3. Thane gets wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
Legion gets wrapped up.
Yep.
Maybe Jack.
Maybe.
Nah, that one's debatable. Miranda gets wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, Garrus, Tally.
Any of the party members that you can play in Mass Effect 3. There's nothing about it. Except for Joker and Edie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even that doesn't... Even that makes you go like, huh? What?
Wait, I've seen Terminator.
Yeah.
So I think if they can add that in, it'll fix a lot of the fan criticism. But here's a thought that just struck me. Does anybody even care anymore? Like, this was the internet rage, like, what was it?
A couple of months ago.
2 months ago. And, I looked over the forums, and nobody says anything about the endings anymore. Like, it's all
they're all finished complaining about it.
Right. It's all like, oh, well, this class in multiplayer isn't really viable for gold, and blah, 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 balancing issues. I don't know if anybody cares about the ending anymore. Like, maybe this is BioWare's, like, grand ploy of, like, we're going to fix the ending in summer when nobody remembers. And then they put out this, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, I guess this was better. But nobody really remembers why.
Yeah.
We're a fickle gaming
we are. It's the internet's fault.
Well, with that, there is also going to be a DLC with it. How many times can I say with it? Called Earth Multiplayer, which they do like the Repellion multiplayer. What was the first one, like Resurgence or something?
Yeah.
This is going to be like that. Basically, there's going to be 3 new multiplayer maps.
It's like a total of 5 new maps over the last, since those 2 that came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they just released 2, which I did download, but I never got to play.
Yeah, I never played them either.
And then, 3 new weapons and 6 new human classes. There's going to be Destroyer, Paladin, Demolisher, Slayer, Shadow, and Fury with an exclamation point.
Wow.
I'm interested in seeing what these classes are, because those are all typical MMO classes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Is a paladin going to have a shield and heal his friends and talk to God? And Is the Slayer just going to run around with a big two-handed weapon? So I'm interested to see, even though humans are kind of boring.
Yeah, they are.
But what do you think? Do you think them wrapping it all together is a good idea?
I mean, it'll give me another reason to plop in Mass Effect again, and
Now you and I trade in games. I wouldn't say frequently, but regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Neither one of us can give up Mass Effect 3.
No.
So
yeah, that one's it's a mainstay.
as bad as the ending was, which I personally had problems with the ending, but I didn't find it bad enough that I'd say this game is awful.
Yeah.
Get this crap out of my way.
It's just like a bittersweet with a little bit of sourness.
Right. I understand the complaints.
Yeah.
And I also understand the conspiracy theories, like the indoctrination theory. I think those are fun. But I don't think BioWare's writers are that good to think of something like that.
No.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. And hopefully by then I'll be done, everything I currently have to play. So, we will move on to reviews.
Reviews.
I caught it that time.
Nice.
So you're going to go first. So your review is a brand new game called
XCOM. I'm doing XCOM, UFO Defense or Enemy Unknown. It came out ages ago. I don't remember. I never played it when it first came out.
Right.
I played it. It was actually my first PlayStation game.
PlayStation?
Yes.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was my very first PlayStation game.
Nothing like playing a strategy game on a console.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I learned. I remember I wasn't very. How old was I?
8. No, probably a little bit more than that.
Like
12. 10.
Yeah, I was like maybe 10 or 11. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a very good reader. So I remember I didn't know how to play the game. So me and my brother would just and he was younger than me, so he had to be like 9 or something. We would just play the game and look at the manual, not really, we were able to pick out basic words, but we didn't know how to play.
X button. Okay.
Yeah, it took us a couple years to actually learn how to play the game. I'm surprised we kept it that long. But I mean, it's an amazing game where you are like in command of a extraterrestrial combat unit. That's what XCOM stands for.
Extraterrestrial combat unit.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be XCOM-U?
Yeah, there's no U for some reason.
They don't take after the Wii very well.
No. And so what's awesome about this game is it has a tremendous amount of depth. Like, there's two sides of the game. There's the battlescape side, where you are sent out where you initiate missions, and all the maps are randomly generated. There's no mission that you go on that's just like another one. There's like deserts, there's forests, there's farmlands, and there's like cities. It's really immersive. And then there's also the base aspect, where you basically manage a facility of the XCOM facilities, and you can build new bases in other continents, and you can have multiple bases going. You manage your own funds. I mean, you learn money management. You can build ships, weapons.
Almost like an RTS.
It is. It's almost like an RTS or like a Civilization or something, where you. You build an economy, and you earn the respect of other nations and stuff, and you can get money. I mean, it's just an amazing game. I would play the base stuff, and my brother would do the missions. And recently, I've been playing the PC version. It's a lot more. It's better, because of the control and everything, and
right.
But the soundtrack was better on the PC version or on the PlayStation version. I actually listen to the PlayStation soundtrack to this day when I do all my writing. So
Oh, is that the weird music I hear?
Yeah, that's all the weird music you hear. It's all XCOM, but it's my favorite game, and they're doing a new one. They're doing a remake. It's totally worth it. I know it's a retro review. It's not really too much of a review.
Well, we actually have a trailer for the new one, which we'll play in a second. How can somebody play that now? Because that old of a game obviously doesn't work too well with the new operating systems. Do you use like a DOS booter?
Yeah, I use a DOS booter. They actually have I think it was released on Steam a couple of years ago.
Okay, so they did actually do an update.
Yeah, they released an update, and they have XCOM, Terror from the Deep. Don't just play XCOM.
And
UFO Defense or Enemy Unknown.
Okay.
But yeah.
And the new one.
Game.
Oh, my hair looks terrible. The new one is actually called Enemy Unknown, and we do have a trailer for that. And we might watch the whole thing depending on what feels like playing currently.
Yeah. Cyberdisk.
Sure.
It's going really fast.
It is. Wow. Okay. Let's see why. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
All attempts to contact the invaders thus far have failed. Their only purpose seems to be destruction and chaos. One fact is quite clear. The militaries of the world are severely outgunned. In the absence of a miracle, this could very well mean the end of civilization as we know it.
Hello, Commander. In response to the alien threat, this Council of Nations has chosen to activate the XCOM project. You have full command of XCOM headquarters. You must learn more about the enemy to expand our capabilities, as well as the abilities of our operatives.
Reports have come in from around the world of alien ships being blown out of the sky. Military aircraft bearing the markings of no country. Special forces soldiers with weapons and body armor unlike anything we've ever seen.
So you excited?
Very.
Awesome.
Very much excited. I'm ready
You pre-order it? Get all the pre-order bonuses?
Nah.
No.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe like 2 weeks before it comes out.
So, XCOM, the old one, what do you give it?
I give it 2 thumbs up. I give it 2 Raccoon Cities up. We almost didn't mention Raccoon City this episode.
Yeah, we have to mention Raccoon City.
Operation Raccoon City.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
There we go. We mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost forgot.
Yes. It's almost as bad as. I can't think of anything as bad as that. Nah. Maybe a lobotomy by a guy with a hook for a hand. Ow. Except for you wouldn't remember that. Raccoon City sticks with you.
Unfortunately.
All right. My review, like I hinted earlier, it's actually going to be on Lollipop Chainsaw. It's the new game from Suda51. He did previous games such as Killer 7 and No More Heroes, and there was a bunch of others that I looked up today so I could mention them, and now I forgot them, so I probably wrote them down. But he's always known for like that quirky, kind of odd type of gameplay. Grasshopper is the studio he's head of, and they're pretty well known for that kind of stuff. I guess I'll play the trailer first. What do you think?
Play the trailer first.
It's not really a trailer. It's more of a gameplay. There is a little bit of language in it. So you people watching the live show will get it. people that'll listen to it probably won't get it, but I'll probably cut that part out anyway because they can't watch the trailer. So we'll go ahead and play it. All right, we'll have to stop it first and then play it.
I love you too, baby.
There you go. Pretty much. Yeah. I would put it not a button match. Pretty much you see that two main attacks. Oh yeah, this is holding. As you see, it
What
is
are you
pretty
laughing
crazy
at,
looking.
dickhead?
So basically, it plays it just sounds ridiculous to me. It is.
Impressive.
This game doesn't take itself seriously at all. Lots of quick time events, but nothing overused.
If it bleeds, I can kill it.
There we go. So you guys pretty much just got Lollipop Chainsaw in a nutshell. What I can personally say about it is it does have a good amount of depth. There's a lot of unlockables. I haven't finished the game yet, but I can already tell you it's going to be a fairly short game. Probably just as long as Bayonetta, 8 hours. But there's a lot more replayability in this one. There's like 400 million costumes you can open, all kinds of music, side stuff. The graphics look good. The combat is tight. I didn't have any control issues. A little bit of camera issues here and there, but you kind of take that with these kind of games. I don't think anybody's ever really figured it out. There is a pretty good lock-on system, so there is ways around that. But honestly, I think one reviewer put it best. If you love campy, like bad zombie movies, like Evil Dead, those over-the-top, gory type movies, this is the game for you. I can honestly say that I played it for 2 hours last night, and I had more fun in that 2 hours than a lot of the other games I've recently played. Just because it doesn't take itself seriously. It's a fun game.
Those are the best types of games, too.
Right. It's a game to be a game. It's not there to tell it. It has a story, but it's not there to tell a story. It's just there.
It's not trying to be like super.
And one thing I have to say is, you look at the trailer and you look at the game, and it's like hyper-sexualized. But I'd actually say Bayonetta was worse. Like, they make her out to be like, hyper-sexualized. But she never really plays into that. Like, I'd almost say she's like a strong female character. Like, the story's stupid and the background's stupid. But she never comes off as, the super sexualized person, whereas Bayonetta, that's all she was.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'd actually say, in terms of, like, character, Juliet, which is the cheerleader, probably has it over Bayonetta. The other thing I have to give it, and the reason I'm comparing Bayonetta is, one, I just played it not too long ago, and two, they're the same type of game. The story, like I said, isn't really a lot, but it at least makes sense. I know what's going on at all times.
Bayonetta was confusing.
Right. a punk rock zombie comes out of the depths of hell. I know where he came from, and I know why I want to kill him. Mm-hmm. He's also voiced by Little Jimmy Urine, which is the lead singer of Mindless Self-Indulgence, who also does the music for this game. So if you like their music, you'll like the music in this game, which I do. So, I would probably not say this is going to be kind of weird, but it's if you value playtime in your first playthrough, it's not going to be worth $60. I can tell you that. If you're the kind of person that wants to sit there and collect stuff and go through, and get the best times, because that's the big aspect I didn't really talk about, is there's like a time trial arcade mode. It actually harkens back to like the true arcades where you'd pop the quarter in and like Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
You'd always try to get the best score.
Yeah.
There's a lot of online leaderboards and stuff for that, and unlockables that you can only get, once you progress to a certain score level. So if you're that kind of person, like you're, I would almost say indirectly competitive.
Yeah, competitive. That's what I was going to say.
This game will probably be worth $60, especially if you're a fan of the genre, the hack and slash and
zombies.
Funny. It's funny. I mean, you watched me play, on and off last night. It's funny, like, and you watched me do the boss battle. And
yeah.
That was a cool boss battle.
Yeah, it was neat.
Like, those games typically struggle. It's normally the, okay, go here, hit his arm, okay, go here. It's usually some big monster that you got to break down into pieces and then eventually stab him in the eye.
Yeah.
Or, something like that. Or, like Devil May Cry, everybody remembers the big spider from Devil May Cry.
Oh, yeah.
That you had to, like, flip over and stab him in the stomach. And, like, every boss since then in that genre has been like that. There's always like that weak point. Whereas this one, the first boss, which was the punk rocker zombie, there was like stages and stuff that you had to go through, and each stage was vastly different than the previous stage. And it was funny because his words turned into weapons.
Yeah. He had a potty mouth too.
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to bring up. This game is not for anyone under 18. Yeah, I can easily say that. Maybe some teenager crowd, if you're used to kind of stuff, but there's a lot of language in this game.
More than Bayonetta.
More than Bayonetta, but I'd say it's not really out of place because they set the precedent for it early, like super early. Like you know immediately what you're getting with this game. I mean, you can look at it and know what you're getting with this game.
Yeah.
That's why I got the game. But it doesn't feel out of place. Like it's there to be funny. Now there's some lines in the game that are, I'd say, pushing it a little bit. Like they're there to be funny, but they're getting to that level where you're like, all right, you're just saying it for the shock value at this point. So, like one of the lines is, I'm not going to say the whole line, but like a zombie's driving a bus and he crashes it. Like she goes, man, that zombie really sucks, bleep, at driving. So, like, luckily there really haven't been any moments. Like that was one, and then I think there was like one other one. So. I'm sure there's going to be a few more in the game, but as far as like overall profanity, it kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you value that first playthrough, it's probably not worth $60. But otherwise, I'd say pick it up. I play it on PlayStation. I've also checked out the Xbox version. There's no difference between them. Like sometimes there's screen tearing and all kinds of weird stuff between them, but both of these are rated pretty much the same. So that's pretty cool.
How many Raccoon Cities do you give it?
4 million. Okay. Just for the main character alone. I don't even have to play the game.
Okay.
I am already entertained just looking at it.
Yeah. and the little head she has attached to her.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing. Her boyfriend Nick, which is somebody famous. Like the voice for him is, he's Lex Luthor from Smallville.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So I didn't watch Smallville, but I looked that up because I knew you would know. But yeah,
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah. But
That's cool.
The girl that does Juliet is Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls.
And Riku.
Right?
Final Fantasy X, too. And 10 and 10, too.
And yeah. We don't talk about 10, too.
Back when Final Fantasy was cool.
Right. Well, a friend brought this up to me today when I was talking to him about it. They're redoing 10 in HD.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That was a while back before we started the podcast, or else we would have reported on it.
Oh.
But yeah, they announced that a while back, and I wonder if they're going to keep the same voices for them.
That would be cool. Like, it's like a complete reboot.
It's just in HD.
Okay,
It's like
a remastered version?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So, all right.
Wow.
Well, we have done over an hour show. We're actually pushing about an hour and 10 minutes now.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. We are. Oh, we're actually pushing right about an hour because we did start a little late. So we will, I guess, start to wrap it up. Anything else you want to mention this week? Anything you got coming up? Anything you want to push? I'm sure there's something you want to talk about. Maybe your own website, your own project.
Oh yeah, I have been writing a book for the last 5 or 6 weeks. I'm about halfway through with it. I have a website called, well, the book is called The Pure Hidden Truth. It's the book I'm working on now is the first book in a trilogy. It's called Friends in High Places. It started out as a novel, and then I decided it would be a good idea to make it as a movie or a TV show. And I realized,
Snowballed.
Yeah. I realized I didn't have the budget to really make it and do it justice. So I said, okay, let me visualize this by taking pictures of actors as the characters, and maybe I can, see what it would look like with the characters as stills. And then I got the crazy idea to make it into a comic book. So I took my novel and then my movie that I converted into movie scripts, and then butchered it even further into word bubbles. And you can read that comic online. It ended up being unfinished because one of the actors moved to Korea. And but you can read online at www.pureandhiddentruth.com, and you can read the archives all the way up to the midway point in the story. Well, I decided to go back and finish this story and put it out there. And I'm writing it as a book. That's what I'm always doing on the days that I'm not working. I'm just slaving away, typing.
Writing.
And I should be finished by,
Don't make a promise you can't keep.
I'm pretty sure the way I've been going, it's safe to say that I will be finished with this manuscript by early to mid-July.
Okay.
Like by the end of tomorrow, I'll probably be between 55 and 60% done with this first draft.
And they can follow you at Cisco Davis Jr.
Yeah, you can follow me at Cisco Davis Jr. On Twitter. Check out my website and see my updates. And yeah,
There's a cat behind
There's a
us
cat
going
behind us.
crazy.
Yeah, chasing a little mouse toy.
Yep. So I don't have anything to push this week. Go to our website. You can follow me on my Twitter. It's the same as it was before. I don't tweet a lot, but if you're looking for website updates or streaming updates, which I didn't stream any last week because I was having computer problems, hopefully that's going to be fixed tonight. But I probably won't stream tonight. I may stream tomorrow. If I do, I'll put it on the calendar so you guys know. But other than that, there is one thing I may add to the website. I'm kind of playing around with it. I'm kind of writing, I wouldn't really say a strategy guide, but a guide for the new World of Warcraft class, the Monk, because a lot of people in my current World of Warcraft guild are interested in it. And I'm the only one that's really playing the beta because nobody else really wants to put the time in. So I may post that guide up there. I may put a new section up. If you go to the website, we have a bar at the top that has, what is it, home, about, live, which if you're watching this, you're on the live. It'll probably be next to that, and it'll probably say, like, World of Warcraft or, like, World of Warcraft guide or something like that. I don't know if I'll put it up on there. If not, I'll put a post where you can find it. It's actually on the World of Warcraft forums right now. It's getting a lot of good response. So that I'm nowhere near the writer you are. So I can't write anything, fiction based, but I can definitely take information and
Technical writer.
Right. Yeah. I can break it down so people understand it. I can say, hit this button at this time. So with that, that's our show for this week. Next week, I'll review Ghost Recon for next week. That way I don't have to play anything else. What are you going to review for next week, or don't you know?
I don't know.
Maybe
Tekken.
Maybe Tekken. All right.
Maybe Tekken 6.
All right.
Maybe Tekken 6.
Maybe I'll just talk about Lollipop Chainsaw again.
Maybe.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it. So we will see you later. Oh, did you want to do your Horatio move here? Oh, I forgot to mention our new banner below, made by that guy. A lot better than mine.
Yeah, I just put that together this morning. Took about an hour.
Yeah, way to rub it in. See you guys later.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Fantastic production. Send your questions to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. Intro music by MF Greth. Any music by Fapito. Check them both out at newgrounds.com.